Hi everyone, welcome to Clutch Entertainment today, and today we're going to be talking about the pressures of being a man and how to persevere, and some things daily that men deal with that maybe some people don't understand. So we're going to go through some things, basically like what the cultural expectations are, things a man should be, why we don't talk about these things, like men don't talk about their feelings certain ways, and then also why we don't take emotional seriously with men, and some ways we can become better as men. And a lot of different things go into being a man. And of course, me being a man myself, I've struggled with these in the past. Some of these things, and some of the things that I've overcame myself. So we're going to talk about all these things, and we'll just go from there. So first off, we're going to start off with cultural expression. So our culture here in today's society, we tend to have people thinking men should be strong, like don't cry, don't push, you can do it, nothing's gonna stop you, figure it out all on yourself. If you're a man, you can figure it out. And a lot of these things are true to a point, as far as over time, if you give enough time to a man, they can actually overcome pretty much anything they have to put their mind to. I would say that as a man. But when you pressure a man and you tell them that they have to be strong in a situation, for example, you're telling them, like, lock your emotions away, don't tell anyone, and it doesn't matter if you feel a certain way, because like when you tell someone don't feel a feeling, that's gonna make it suppressed. It's gonna cause more stress. It's gonna cause you more anxiety. It's gonna cause you more self turmoil with yourself, and you're gonna beat yourself up. So I would say, to a point, when somebody says be strong to you, you want to be strong in that way where you're brave, not strong in the way where you don't fear anything. Like when they say be strong and don't fear anything, like it's okay to be afraid of something. That's what I'm basically saying. When they're saying don't cry, or be vulnerable, find a way to get that outlet of vulnerability away. Like when somebody tells you to be strong and not do anything about it, like it's not going to help you out in the long run. So you really need to go have somebody to go to, or an outlet to get rid of that emotion. The same with push. You have to. I agree, you have to push through situations that make you feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, you need to be able to have that balance where you're not overdoing yourself as a man. And then figure it out yourself. Like we do figure out things by ourselves over time, and it's good to give someone space to figure things out over time, but it's good to be patient with another man if you're telling them, expecting a man to do something. As far as why men don't talk about feelings, it's kind of the same with the cultural expectations. We don't want to say things out loud a lot of times, because you get that pressure, you get that pushing on the issue. It makes you feel not valuable if you show any vulnerability or weakness. And when a man feels those things, they lock it up, like I was talking about before. They don't want to make themselves look weak, and weakness is, in today's society, is like the number one thing I would say that hurts a man. It makes them feel lonely. It makes them feel isolated, and it just pushes a barrier between them and everyone else. So that's a reason why it's really hard that men don't talk about their feelings, or men don't do certain things, because that's what we are. We hold everything in a lot of times, and it causes us a lot of stress if we hold it in. We have to have someone to talk to, someone to let it out with, some kind of outlet where we can get rid of our anger, our emotions. Because the way men process emotions is we try to let things go by. Like, be strong, like I was telling in the beginning. We try to get it out in a way that nobody's going to know about it. Whereas if you get it out in a way where you can somehow express it or get rid of it, for example, like if you're a boxer, like in boxing, you're able to fight another boxer, and you let out all that energy you had, that vulnerability. Or if you're a runner, you can run and sprint and get all the energy and burn it off. There's a number of different ways that you can get rid of that, and you just got to figure out what way works for you. So I would say the next thing is things men deal with on a daily basis. So these are things, loneliness, financial burdens, when they're comparing like how thin or how fat like someone is, like body image. A lot of expression I would say is like as a man, compared to a woman, like women are known to have a lot of like body issues and oh no, look, I look fat and stuff like that. Whereas men is more so like look at me, like I'm not as strong as that dude over there. It's not necessarily more so of like I don't look good or I don't. It's more so of like I want to be like that. It's more like an envy kind of thing. So I would say like that's another thing we look at, and we deal with like relationship pressure, whereas like you want to meet a girl and then the girl rejects you and then you feel really bad and isolated, and then you suppress your emotions and make you feel worse. And then you also have that fear of rejection from women. Like you have to talk to many different girls in order to finally find someone that's good or find somebody that's worth your time, because there's a lot of back and forth between relationships. I'm sure women could say the same thing with some men. Like some men are overly pushy and overly aggressive and overly putting like the pressure on men. But men have their part too with women, where they don't give the man a chance to show them the qualities they have, or they don't give the man a chance to express themselves, or they don't give the man a chance to be vulnerable with them. Those big things are really hurtful in the way of like the way reciprocating with relationships are. But I would say that's something that we struggle with, as a man. We also have many fears about ourselves. It's not really so much, I mean, not about ourselves, but like about things that don't affect like emotions. Like the fears that men mostly have is like a fear of not being able to like provide for like a family, or a fear of not being able to take care of someone they love, or a fear of not being able to go the distance and make sure everything's worth it. Those are the big things that men struggle with as far as like on a daily basis. And then I would say like being a good man, I have another video out about this, but one of the big things is to be strong but sensitive towards others. Be disciplined, but make sure you're like compassionate, like if other people are not on the same level as you. And then make sure you're a strong leader and not humble. The biggest thing is to be consistent with all these things. If you're consistent with being a good leader, being a good man, being someone to take care of, that's something that you need to be as a man. Also, on that topic, I'd like to say how to be successful and persevere, as a man too. Some other qualities, train your mind. Make your mind a barrier that's not going to be overcome. Like if you have a fear of something, overcome it. Use your emotions the right way. As a man, don't suppress them. Make sure you're getting it out to, some way of expressing it, whether it's playing a sport, exercising, talking to somebody. There's plenty of different things. But make sure your mind is on point. The next thing I would say is, train your body. Get some physical exercise. Get that extra energy out, along with, it's really good for your mind also. Going for a daily walk. Talking to somebody, like I said before, like with the mind, you got to exercise your mind and your body together. And make sure you get all that extra energy out, because that can affect your daily feelings, daily emotions, daily expressions, how you deal with even fear, isolation, and so how you suppress everything in life, and how to deal with your stress. That can be really important. And I would say like the last most important thing as far as training yourself is make sure you train your soul or spirit. Like you want to be a good faithful man to God. You want to be able to go to church, and you want to be able to love others. Those things are really important things that a man needs. A man needs to have God as his leader. A man needs to be able to go to church weekly and get that reception from God, and to experience, as a Catholic, we experience the sacraments, which is important. And then also loving your neighbor, loving God, loving yourself. Those are the big things, you want to train yourself as a man, because if you can do all these different things, it'll really make your life a lot easier. You won't feel as burdened. You'll give everything to God instead, and it'll put you in a much better place where you don't have to worry about things as much. And then I would say overall, you want to have at least 2 to 3 good friends in your life. At least 2 to 3, because you need to be able to talk to other guys. You need to be able to talk to other guys that help you with what you're going through. You can tell a guy that a friend or something like, man, I've really been struggling with this, and just be vulnerable with them. Someone you can trust that's not going to like blow up in your face and say, ha ha, you've been going through this, you deserve this. Like, you don't want somebody like that. That's somebody that's going to make you feel worse. That's someone who's toxic in your life. And you want someone who's going to be able to, be there for you. Someone who's going to say, oh man, sorry you're going through that. I've been through that, or I can help you with that, or something you can be for someone else, or they can be for you. That's the big thing with, having a brotherhood or friendship with somebody. And then lastly, as a man, you want to build purpose. If you can build a purpose in your life, if you can put a spot where you're like, this is what I want to do, this is my goal, and you build a hobby, you build a relationship with somebody, you help your family, you be a provider, like maybe you be a father or mother, not a mother obviously as a man, that wouldn't work, but you want to be a father figure to somebody, you want to take care of somebody. Being a man is very important as being a provider and a leader. So if you have some kind of purpose in your life, some type of goal, that is the most important thing, I would say. And then lastly, as far as like wrapping up here, I would say, some good qualities that make a man is, keeping your promises and being loyal, being responsible, pushing through fear, and then being protective in a calming way to stabilize things, and having the integrity to do the right thing each and every day. If you are a person who's half and half, and you want to be that person that is looked up upon, who takes care of things, who does things the right way, you get to be a good man. You have to do these things, and I've talked about this in my other video, like I said, what makes a good man. And these pressures in our lives of being a man is pretty tough. And, as a man, I know all these things. I've gone through isolation. I've gone through fear. I've gone through not having someone around that I really needed. And, I've struggled with, anxiety in the past. I've struggled with a lack of discipline when I didn't have discipline before. I've struggled with, not exercising enough, or not focusing on the mind enough to make myself better. But the one thing you can always fall back on, like I said, is the biggest thing is, training yourself to love others, love God, and to be a good provider and leader for others. And if you could do that, you can be a good example, role model to anybody in your lives. You can be the best person you can be, and you can definitely, do the right thing. And you'll know in your heart that you're doing the right thing. So if there's anything else that you guys have recommendations, you can leave in the comment section below. You can provide me with some information, and maybe I need to add some to this in the future, another video. If you have any ideas, just let me know. But just don't forget to like and subscribe today, and enjoy watching the video. And if you learned something, just call it out, or if you want to say something else, like I said, just say something else. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment today, and I hope everyone got some good, useful information out of this. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.